Tokyo is giving birth, right now, mid-scream, mid-panic, with Robot around her yelling encouragement she can barely process. That's where this stretch of story actually starts. Not with a warning shot, but already in the room. Out on the road, Maru and Kiruko are having a much dumber problem. They're naming their gifted car, arguing over whether writing an extra name on it makes it look like they secretly own 11 vehicles, which, as Kiruko points out, is somehow a worse look than owning none. It's a small, ridiculous moment. It's also the calm right before this story rips the floor out from under everyone, because back at the sealed school, in a room nobody's supposed to be listening in on, the director finally says what heaven was actually built for. All this time, the tests, the isolation, the monitoring down to the second, none of it was really about the children's well-being, it was about her. She's 80 years old, she's dying, and she intends to cheat that entirely by transplanting her own mind into a new body, the same forbidden science the Immortal Order chased, except she's had an entire academy quietly growing candidates for it the whole time. A host needs to be at least 13 to survive the procedure. Her first stopgap vessel, Aoshima, freshly promoted specifically for this. Her true vessel, the one she's willing to wait years for, Tokyo's baby, the child of 2 children, something that was never supposed to exist, and now the entire institution's future hinges on it. We've crossed too many lines to turn back now, she says. You can rise with us, or you can fall. Out on the road, that horror hasn't reached Maru and Kiruko yet. They're just trying to survive the ordinary version of this apocalypse, eating 7-year-old bread tested over a fire first, scavenging a house already picked clean down to the window frames, hiding their light at night so nobody spots them. Then in the darkness, they see smoke, rising from the direction of Ibaraki's facility, which is part of an old branch of Takahara Academy. Kiruko says it is too dangerous to go investigating tonight. They will go there tomorrow by foot. Back at the school, the cracks keep showing. A girl named Oma isolates herself, insisting she'll just upset the other kids if she joins them. When Mimiheim looks into her eyes, she gets hit with a vision so real it feels physical. Needles everywhere, a fear she can't explain because nothing's ever actually hurt her that way. She wakes up in fear in the checkup room and everything is alright. Kona, meanwhile, is stuck in bed with nothing medically wrong with him, just unable to get up, like something's pulling the strength out of him from somewhere else entirely. He realizes what it is before anyone tells him. He's synced with Tokyo, not sick, just feeling whatever she's going through, from a distance, without asking for any of it. Mimiheim tries to explain her own gift the same night, seeing people up in the sky, glimpsing things before they happen, except the timing's never reliable. Sometimes tomorrow means 10 seconds, sometimes it means never, and then without warning she starts repeating herself, low and frantic, go away, lost somewhere Kona can't follow her into. Later it is Oma who consoles her, gently giving back a handkerchief and saying sorry for something which she never manages to say aloud. Then when she looks again into her eyes, she is attacked by another vision, just as before, but this time she screams go away, and uses some kind of power to fight back against the vision, telling her that while she may scare some people, not her. Elsewhere in the building, staff are literally wiring something together, plugging cable after cable into a console none of them fully understand, joking about it, telling themselves the mission is simple, build heaven, then expand it outward once it's ready. Nobody asks the follow-up question out loud, the one that actually matters. What happens to the people who aren't inside heaven when that expansion starts? In another corner of the same building, Aoshima and Teruhiko is planning something entirely different, quietly plotting to act before the director gets back, waiting only for a chance the gate might be left open. Then the announcement drops, and it's the one that reframes everything. All students report to the pool. In the middle of all that dread, one small piece of good news slips through. Tokyo's coming back. Apparently healed, cleared to return within the week. Then the teacher announces a test, a long one. When you are lost and cannot find the answer, proceed in the direction you believe correct. To reach the outside of the outside is your ultimate goal and your fate as Hiruko, not as students, as Hiruko. Several of them react to that word like they'd forgotten their own name and just heard it spoken back to them for the first time. Whatever these children actually are, this test is the moment the mask finally slips. At night, Teruhiko was feeding Tokyo's child when we realized that actually she had twins. The next day, the entire system of the school became bugged and everyone's excess was denied access to all the cameras, doors and other operations, basically of the operation of the school became blocked. While at the same time, Mimiheim and others were having their breakfast when suddenly, the new 5-year-old student started looking up at the ceiling and saying, danger, danger. Suddenly something crashes onto the ceiling and the ceiling falls to the ground. Out in the wasteland, while arriving at the smoked area, Maru and Kiruko discover that it is a market, and they further discover that it is the Ministry of Reconstruction where they can exchange their currency. They reach the bustling rebuilt settlement run partly by the Ministry of Reconstruction. She shows a photo around, and this time, after years of dead ends, someone confirms it. Robin Inazaki, alive, right here, at the large filtration plant. A meeting gets arranged for later that day, and Kiruko can barely sit still waiting for it, rehearsing what she'll even say after 5 years of silence. Maru and Kiruko get their own room to stay while they get to their own room. Maru just says that it is fine if you go alone because you have been searching for that person for years and now she leaves alone. She was excited and ran towards the filtration plant past the security guards and finally sees Robin with tears in her eyes, but the expression on Robin's face doesn't look pleasant. Back at the school, at almost the exact same time, the sky itself turns hostile. Something falls, something that looks unmistakably like a plane, and the building comes under direct attack. Staff scatter new students with Kona went toward the pool as the safest ground, while a AnimeHollow and Shiro group breaks off to check something even more urgent. A hole has been blasted straight through the school's outer wall, the wall none of these kids have ever been past. It's wide open now, whether anyone meant it to be or not. While the plane crashed at Takahara Academy, the director and other members of staff went back to the building, but one of the staff members got scared and left the director in danger. She now reveals her secret, which is that she can run on her feet. While Teruhiko was feeding the baby with milk, the commotion took place and he also lost track of which child was which one. Then Kiruko finally gets to reunite. It's not the clean resolution 5 years of hope built it up to be. Robin, staring at Kiruko's face, immediately clocks that something's deeply wrong. The voice is his sister's, but the tics, the tells, the way she talks, all of it is Haruki. He doesn't dismiss it as grief or delusion. He believes it instantly and even has a name for the man who might have done it. Sakata, not Usami. But the name of the doctor she is trying to catch was Sakata, one Robin's been chasing on his own, one whose trail he lost after the old orphanage was abandoned. Robin explains he crossed paths with Usami afterward, stayed with him for a couple of years before landing here. This whole thriving little town, built out of an old agricultural research site, now running on filtered river water and its own generators. Robin offers Kiruko a hot bath in order to warm up her bones. For one evening it actually feels that way. Warm baths, playful teasing, something almost like the heaven Maru's been searching for this entire journey. Robin genuinely delighted to have his kids back in his life. It doesn't last. Back in the school, AnimeHollow and some children pass through the hole in the wall and get surprised to find that there is a big fence beyond which there is a vast jungle. AnimeHollow gets dizzy on looking at the ceiling of the outside world. Kiruko leaves and Maru finds himself alone in the board that just went out to get some food and passes a prostitute but ignores her. At the same time, Robin handcuffs Haruki, forces him in front of a mirror and demands he say whose body this is. Then he assaults Kiriko's body while making Haruki watch it happen in the reflection, narrating every second of it. 5 years of searching, of guilt, of trust, turned into the weapon itself by the one person Haruki believed he could still count on. Back at the school, out past the wire fence, AnimeHollow and a few of the other kids wander deep into the woods, going farther than any of them realize, thinking it's a test for them. Heat, confusion, no clear sense of direction. After a while, AnimeHollow decides she's going back to tell everyone what they found and check on Tokyo. Shiro also goes with her, leaving the others behind to keep exploring on their own. In the chaos of the attack, there's a detail nobody saw coming. Tokyo didn't have one baby, she had twins. Staff quietly decide only one goes back to her, marked by a small sign on the sole of its foot, while the other is simply taken elsewhere, no real explanation given. In the scramble, Teruhiko is bleeding, clearly not fine despite insisting otherwise, while Aoshima sees an opening to move forward with something she's apparently been sitting on for a while. She calls it the Noah Project. Nobody in the room has heard the name before. She claims it's simply a plan to protect the children. Given everything else this institution has already been caught doing, nobody should take that claim at face value. Out in the settlement, 2 nights pass with no word from Kiruko, and Maru finally goes looking for her. A guard tries to wave him off with an ugly implication that Kiruko's just reignited an old flame with Robin, that they've simply been busy, that Robin gave orders not to let anyone in. Then he adds one detail that changes everything for Maru, that whatever he heard coming from that room yesterday was almost too much to listen to, not romance. Something wrong. Maru doesn't wait for an explanation. 2 guards try to physically stop him at the door, and he fights straight through both of them to get inside. What he doesn't know yet is what's already happening to Kiruko alone over 2 full days, trapped somewhere between 2 identities that were never supposed to share one body, flickers of memory surface that might not even belong to them, small, aching hopes that maybe Kiruko really is still in there somewhere, still alive underneath it all. It's less a coherent thought than something to hold on to just to survive the moment. By the time Maru finally breaks through the door, he finds Kiruko tied up, naked, and barely holding together. Back at the school, Teruhiko finds Tokyo and hands Tokyo her baby, telling her plainly it's hers and Kona's to raise together. It should be a pure moment, it doesn't stay one. The director arrives, badly injured, and demands Tokyo hand the child over instead. And when she refuses, Teruhiko tries to step in and stop the director from pushing further, but she overrules him and orders the school's AI Mina to seize it by force. What happens next breaks the story wide open. Tokyo's eyes go blue and something starts encasing her and the baby both, a shell forming over them as she transforms into something no longer entirely human, the director caught in it, right along with her. Whatever the director's real plan for this child was, it clearly isn't hers to control anymore. Deep in the woods, AnimeHollow and Shiro end up completely lost, retracing the same ground more than once. Sure, they're walking in a straight line and getting nowhere. They finally catch the sound of running water and follow it, hoping it leads back toward the school. When they reach the edge, the ground gives out under AnimeHollow and she goes over the cliff. Shiro lunges after her and catches her mid-air, holding on with everything he's got, and they both go down together. He takes the brunt of the fall, badly hurt by the time they land, but he still manages to get her clear. Barely able to move, still shaking, he finally says what he's clearly been holding back the whole time out there, that he loves her completely and would tear himself apart if it meant keeping her safe. She doesn't brush it off this time. She takes one of her Takahara Academy pins and gives it to him instead, her own quiet way of saying it back. Out in the wasteland, at filtration plant, after everything Robin's done, Maru corners him and starts beating him down with no restraint, no hesitation, blood already on his knuckles by the time Kiruko manages to get through to him. She's the one who stops it, not out of mercy for Robin, but because she doesn't want Maru carrying this on top of everything else. He pulls back barely, and the two of them leave Robin alive on the floor and walk away together. Meanwhile, Kiruko says, "I'm so weak. Everything I ever believed in was a lie. I don't even know who I really am anymore." Maru doesn't try to fix it with reassurance. He just tells her if she doesn't like what he's about to say, she can throw the rock in her hand straight into the river and he'll drop it for good. Maru finally says the thing he's clearly meant to say for a while, carefully, honestly, not to Haruki, not to Kiriko, to her, specifically, whoever she actually is underneath both of those names. That he'd have liked Haruki as a friend, maybe. That he doesn't know if he'd have fallen for Kiriko either. But that he's fallen for the person actually standing in front of him, the one who's kept him alive this entire journey, the one he can't function without. At the end, once Maru's said everything he needed to say, Kiruko throws the rock into the river. Then she asks him quietly what she's even supposed to do if he's always the one protecting her. For once, she doesn't have a comeback ready. She just cries, hiccuping through it the same way she apparently used to as a kid, completely undone. Then Kiruko pulls the photo of Robin out, looks at it one last time. She tells Maru there's no need to keep it anymore. She found what she was looking for. She tears Robin's photo apart piece by piece and lets it go. And with that settled, Maru makes one more decision, cold and final. I found him. That's all I set out to do. Robin Inazaki, he says, if he ever sees his face again, he won't hesitate. On the other side, when people from the Ministry of Reconstruction go to check on the filtration plant, the whole place feels wrong before they even step inside. Deserted. An entire pot of coffee gone cold and untouched on the counter, nobody around to explain why. Then they find blood on the floor and a set of keys near it. Every room in the building is unlocked, except one. They open it anyway, and behind that door is something that used to be a person. A man-eater fused to a human body. Someone who registered as a resident here just 3 months ago, still alive, but with absolutely nothing left of her mind. Whatever Robin's actually been doing out here, this town was never the heaven it looked like. And then when it's finally time for Maru and Kiruko to get back in the car anyway, because the mission hasn't changed, heaven's still out there somewhere. The car stalls twice trying to make a dramatic exit, which would almost be funny if either of them had anything left to laugh about right now. The finale closes on Mimi-him, Shiro, and the other kids drifting out on a speedboat, staring out at a skyline neither of them has ever actually seen before. Proof, for the first time, that whatever's waiting for them past the wall might not be the hell they were always told it was. And that's it for this anime. I'll see you again soon with more interesting anime recaps.